Hey guys, welcome back to the show. In this episode, we're going to watch Hakeem Jeffries. He goes on to CNN and has a one-on-one with Dana Bash about the state of the Democratic Party and what their plans are for the next 100 days before the midterm. So let's take a listen and see exactly what they have planned, guys.
Thank you so much for being here. I know that you are launching what Democrats are calling 100 Days Out Weekend of Action, with more than 400 grassroots events in competitive states, including Pennsylvania, where you're going to be speaking later today. At the same time, your party is fighting over whether the path back to the majority runs through the center or the activist left, who want to defund the police, abolish ICE, end aid to Israel, open borders. I know that you call the Democratic Party a mosaic, but are you going to push any of those positions if you win the majority back?
All right. First of all, guys, I give credit to Dana Bash. I feel like she asked a lot of good questions. As we know, the Democratic Party has split in two. We now have the DSA, and then we have the original, the OGs, the Democratic Party, Hakeem Jeffries, right? And so Dana comes out. She asks a lot of questions about this movement going on, and let's see what Hakeem Jeffries has to say. But remember, as we're listening, remember what she asked, and let's see how he responds.
Well, what unites the party, and certainly what will take place over the next 100 days beginning today, is a focus on us fighting for an affordable America, based on the reality that life in this country is far too expensive, and everybody agrees that that's the dynamic that the country confronts. Too many people are working hard, they're playing by the rules, but they can't thrive and they can barely survive. Not enough food on the table, not enough gas in the tank, unable to actually regularly and consistently afford to pay the rent or pay the mortgage. We want to drive down the cost of groceries, drive down and lower the cost of gasoline, drive down the cost of housing, and also make sure that health care is affordable for every single American.
Okay, so to begin with, as we saw, he didn't answer any of the questions. He stayed as far away as he could from the DSA. And the reason why is he knows the DSA wants him gone. If they are able to gain power, he will lose his job. And he knows it. He knows it. And so he is playing the fine line to make sure he's not stepping on any toes. Now, of course, when he does that, what happens? They go back to the same talking points the Democratic Party has always used. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then when they get in office, they never do it. You know what I'm saying? He talked about the price of gas. Go back and look at the price of gas under the Biden administration. Go back and look at the price of gas, the price of rent, the price of groceries. In fact, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when Trump got in office, the price of eggs were like $9. Do you guys remember that? And so now here he is, coming on TV and talking about how the country is so bad and how we're going to fix it. Do you really think they're going to fix it, guys? And again, he didn't answer any of the questions. Let's keep going, guys. This guy makes me laugh.
Right. But to do those things, which is the messaging that I've heard you say, especially recently, you need to come up with policy proposals. So will those policy proposals be in line with what some of the more progressive members who keep getting elected are pushing? Or will you sort of move more towards the moderate area where if you do win the majority, it will be likely because they pick up swing districts?
Well, we want to make sure that we are solving problems on behalf of the American people, and that's in every possible area. It is clear that what unites Democrats, for instance, we forcefully have been pushing back against the one big ugly bill and the effort to enact the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. That's a disgrace, and clearly that needs to be reversed. We need to make sure that we do things like extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits so that more than 20 million people actually can have health care that they can afford restored to them, as opposed to the situation that they confront right now because of MAGA extremist policies, which is that they've experienced dramatic increases in their health insurance premiums, in some cases more than $1,000 per month. It certainly is the case, as we've already demonstrated unanimously on the House floor that we need to stop this reckless and costly war of choice that has skyrocketed gas prices on everyday Americans, and we need to stop the Trump tariffs, which have increased costs on everyday Americans by thousands of dollars per year.
Okay, let me pause right there. Again, he stays away from these questions, right? We got the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, right? They're coming out on TV. They're talking about they want to abolish the Senate. They want to defund the police. They want to get rid of borders. And they're actually winning seats, right? To me, that's the crazy part, is that these people are actually winning seats. And when Dana Bash comes out and she asks again, what are you going to do about this, Hakeem? He avoids the questions because he knows right now the DSA has more power. What's that? Zamdami out in New York has more power than Hakeem Jeffries. He's trying to keep his job. At the same time, like, come on, guys. You're going to use the same talking points. This is why you guys are struggling. You come out with the same talking points. We're going to do this. We're going to blame it on Trump, right? It's always Trump's fault. Like 10 years it's been Trump's fault. You guys have been in office for 4 of those years. You guys didn't fix anything, but now here you are. Let's blame Trump. You know what? When I think about this, I think one of the reasons why the Democratic Socialists of America, why they're winning so many of these elections, and why they're actually like building, growing is because they come up with policy ideas. You know what I'm saying? It may not be something that we agree with, right? I don't certainly agree with getting rid of the Senate, getting rid of police, doing all that. But at least they're coming out and they're saying, this is what we want to do. Hakeem Jeffries, what does he say? Oh, it's Trump's fault. Trump, and look at the American people, right? Oh, it's always Trump's fault. But when we win, when we take back, we're going to do this, and this. Same talking points. This is why the Democratic Party is absolutely struggling right now. This is the midterm. Did you know what do they say, 96 or 97% of midterms in a presidential, who's president, is taken, either the House or the Senate is taken by the other party. Like, it shouldn't be this big of an issue. They should not be struggling this bad, but they are because of the infighting. Anyways, let's keep on going. I could talk about Hakeem the Dream all day long here.
According to my colleague Manu Raju, have clashed with Senator Bernie Sanders over the fact that he is campaigning for progressive candidates, some of whom are challenging incumbents you back, including members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Are Senator Sanders and other progressives in the party making it harder for you to win in November? Is that what you said to Senator Sanders?
No, I wouldn't describe it as a clash. It was a candid conversation along with Congressman Greg Meeks to chair the Congressional Black Caucus PAC with respect to one particular race in North Carolina at the beginning of the primary cycle, and trying to get a sense of his approach to that race. I do think that Senator Sanders and Democrats in both the House and the Senate understand the stakes that are in front of us, particularly as we are 100 days out. And that's making sure that we actually take back control of the Congress so we can end this MAGA extremism that has been unleashed on the American people, that is actively hurting hardworking American taxpayers, and actually commit to making life more affordable for the American people. That's clearly what the American people want to see done, and that's not what Republicans have been able to accomplish during their time in office since Trump was sworn in back in January of last year.
I think one of the things that some of the...
Let me pause it right there, guys. He ignores the infighting. Hakeem knows he can't say anything about the DSA. They have more power than he has, and he's the leader. He's the leader of the House, and he's struggling. He's doing the same messaging, the same exact messaging they always do. And it's like, at what point are they going to learn that like it just doesn't work anymore? You know what I'm saying? Oh, the extreme MAGA. Oh, the same people who said no tax on tips, the same people who have Trump accounts, which allows you to get $1,000 for your newborn to grow a stock account. The Trump RX, where you can get discounted medication. You see what I'm saying? Like, they say one thing when the reality is much different. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that I agree with 100% of what Trump does. You know, but I agree with more of the stuff that he does than what the Democratic Party does. That's the difference for me. You know, it's like in my opinion, the 4 years under Biden, the Democrats focused on opening up the border and allowing millions of people to come in, and then telling us that it wasn't happening, right? They focused on giving those immigrants, for some reason, they sent them all over the country, but they gave them housing. In New York, they got some of the luxury hotels were being paid by us for them to sit in the hotel, right? And it's like, what else did they do? I'm sure if you guys remember some of the stuff they did, I'm forgetting. Go ahead and put it down there. But I know that they didn't focus on the everyday American. You know, every issue feels like it's an 80-20, and the Democrats focus on the 20% and just ignore the 80% until they lose power. Then they blame the Republicans for all the failures, right? And so, I don't know. I don't think it's working anymore. And again, I'll tell you, this is why I think the DSA is taking over. You know, now will they win when that's actually election and it's Republican versus Democrat? I don't think so. I think I think they're going to lose, but who knows, man? Who knows? You know, it's pretty easy to come out and talk about we're going to give you everything. You're not going to have to work, and you're going to live in this utopia. It's really easy to sell that, especially to kids these days that are in their 20s. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But Hakeem, I think it might be over for you, man.
Those who are winning their primaries and will likely be in office want to know is if you are going to agree to hold votes on abolishing ICE, opening borders, things of that nature. Will you?
Well, I've spoken to several of the incoming members of Congress across the ideological spectrum. Not a single person has raised those issues other than, obviously, what they've seen from House Democrats in pushing back against an out-of-control ICE, because we believe that immigration enforcement in this country clearly should be fair, just, and humane, and that's not what's taken place. That's the reason why House Democrats have taken a strong position as it relates to not giving a dime to Donald Trump's violent mass deportation machine until, of course, there is dramatic reform in this country and that ICE agents actually start to conduct themselves like every other cop, police officer, and law enforcement agent in the country.
You know what I'm going to do, guys? The Democrats and their talking points of ICE, it's absolutely ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, in the comments, if you go to the first comment, I'm going to show you a video of CNN during the Obama administration, and it's actually CNN going along with ICE and capturing illegal aliens, right? And what you're going to notice is quite a bit of similarity, right? You're actually going to see that American citizens got arrested, and then CNN plays the part of like, well, you know, they have to check. How are they supposed to know? Like, it's crazy. So I'm going to put it down in the comments, and you guys go ahead and watch it. You guys let me know what you think about the video down in the comments. I just, this talking point of always trying to trash ICE like that there's some violent mob, which is just, it's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? You can look at all of these other cities, right? Red cities. They don't have any of these issues, right? And the reason they don't have any of these issues is two things. One, the local law enforcement works with them. So when an illegal alien commits a crime, they're handed over to ICE. And so ICE doesn't have to go out and look for them, right? And the second thing is the local law enforcement doesn't allow violent protests. If you look at these blue cities, right? They allow these people to take over streets. They allow them to literally stop, throw rocks at ICE cars, right? Get in front of them, do all of these things. And then once ICE responds and reacts, oh wow, look at the big bad ICE. Let's not talk about the people with their right to protest by throwing rocks at the cars and standing in the middle of the street. Like, that's not your right. You don't have the right to do that. You have the right to peacefully protest. So come on, Hakeem. This talking point is getting so old. What do you guys think?
Your next door neighbor, New Jersey, just disclosed that 6,600 non-citizens were mistakenly registered to vote there from 2023 to 2024. 400 of them actually voted in elections since then. It is a small number compared to the 7 million voters in New Jersey, and there's no evidence that that swayed any election. But this is one of the most significant disclosures of non-citizen registration. Now, Democrats have repeatedly said that non-citizen voting doesn't happen. It happened. Is this a problem?
Yeah, let me pause it right there, Dana. That's a great question to ask. Now, now what she said was Democrats have repeatedly said that this isn't happening, and now she says that it's happening, which it clearly is, right? The thing I find funny though is until it was proven that it was happening, CNN would go right along with the Democratic Party and talk about that this is just all made up, this is all fake, this is a conspiracy theory by Donald Trump, right? But now that it's happening, they have to come out and say, hey, by the way, this is happening, and what do you have to say about this, right? And so let's see what Hakeem has to say. I'm going to take a guess that it's somehow Trump's fault. Just taking a guess here.
I think that I continue to have confidence in state and local authorities in making sure that there's going to be a free and fair election in November. And if modest or minor challenges emerge, such as the one that was disclosed voluntarily by the authorities in New Jersey, that it is immediately corrected. And that's what I expect will continue to happen. Unfortunately, what we've seen from Donald Trump is that in this particular case, Republicans have adopted voter suppression as an electoral strategy because they have failed to actually deliver on making life more affordable for the American people. It was Donald Trump who promised to lower costs on day one. But we know that costs haven't gone down in this country. Costs have gone up. It was Donald Trump, I believe, who said that he was elected not to start wars, endless wars in the Middle East, but to stop them, and then turned around and has gotten us involved in this reckless war of choice in Iran that has skyrocketed gas prices on the American people. By the way, it was Donald Trump who said they were going to love and cherish Medicaid, and then Republicans enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripping health care away from more than 14 million Americans. They have nothing to run on. We're going to run on fighting for an affordable America.
Mr. Leader.
All right, so there you go, guys. There you go. Once again, here, look at his cheeky little smile. It's like he's so happy because he remembered all the talking points. And you know what? If you vote blue and you believe everything he's saying, fine. Keep voting the same way and expecting a different result. Like that's on you, right? Did the cost come down when Trump first became president? You know what? I believe it did. I believe that eggs were around $8 or $9, and he got it down to $4. In fact, I personally believe that everything was going down. Inflation was going down. Groceries going down. Gas was going down, right? Then he decided that we needed to defend ourselves against Iran, and then that's what caused inflation to go back up, food prices to go back up, and everything just kind of collapsed that he did, right? that's just my personal belief on that. Do I agree whether we should have went to war with Iran? I don't know if I agree or disagree, honestly. I do think back to 9/11 and ask myself, like, do we have to wait until something happens before we respond, or do we respond before something happens? But at the same time, when you respond before something happens, then it never happened, and so it can look bad, right? It can make people think that, like, why did we do that? So maybe that's my issue with it. But like I said, it would take another video to actually talk about the war. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's the end of the video. Let me know what you think about Hakeem Jeffries. Let me know. Did you think that he was really trying to stay away from the DSA and all their talking points, right? And just try to pretend like the Democratic Party is doing just fine, right? Did you feel like he was using the same talking points? Blame Trump, blame Trump, blame Trump. And if you did feel like that, especially if you vote blue, are you tired of him talking like that? Or do you still believe that that's actually the case, right? And I'm no judgment here. I'm just trying to see what you think about that. And so, that's it, guys. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much. If you're still around, don't forget, subscribe, like, and what was the last one? Oh, leave a comment. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much. Let's not forget, guys, America, it is the greatest country on earth. That's why everybody tries to come to America for a better life. So we better defend it and protect the values that we have. You guys take care. I'll see you on the next video.
For freedom's truth, we stand as one.